Cheers. I'm so excited. Hello, and welcome to the fourth video of my Small Business Diary series. Today, after months of preparation, we are finally launching my Etsy shop. In the background right now, I'm writing out the big to-do list that we'll be tackling in this video. In previous episodes, I go into depth on why I decided to open up a shop, choosing which products we're going to launch with, and then making all of the inventory for this launch. So in this video, we're going to focus more on some of the back-end business side of things that we need to get in place before officially going live. If you're new here, my name is Abby. It is so nice to meet you. And in 2025, one of my big goals is to open a small business. This is because I want to shift my focus from consuming a bunch of things to creating. I've been learning and making stained glass art for the past year now, and I think it is such a beautiful art form that's honestly underrated. And I hope that through this business, I can share that art form with others. So welcome. And if running a small business, making art, or learning about stained glass sounds interesting to you, I hope you stick around because we talk about that a lot here. Hello everybody, happy Monday. I'm on my lunch break right now, so I have a little bit of time and I wanted to check in with you on our list of business steps. Over the weekend, I tackled the first one, which is opening a business bank account. Now, I don't have any fun B-roll to show you because obviously it's all my banking information and I'm not going to put that on the internet, but I'll walk you through what the process was like and how I chose what bank to go with and all that kind of stuff. So I opened an American Express small business bank account. So Forbes and NerdWallet usually comes out with lists of bank accounts that they recommend. Whenever I am trying to make a decision about something that's outside of my normal area of expertise, I like to refer to people who just know more than me. Anyways, I believe on both lists, American Express did rank pretty high. Now, there was also other companies that I'd never heard of, and while those companies I'm sure are great and wonderful, I kind of wanted something that had a name that I recognized. That just made me feel more comfortable. But also, I liked the American Express small business account because, one, there was no minimum balance required, and I'm just going to be perfectly honest and level with you guys. I am not expecting big money moves. Yeah, we're going to launch the shop, but I'm not expecting thousands of dollars to be rolling in. And a lot of times, different banks that I was looking at had a minimum requirement of $2,000, $5,000, something like that. And it's just for the scale of our business, especially right now, that's a lot. So I liked American Express. Their minimum was $0. I'll probably put $500 in there to start out with. But also, they had no monthly service fees. So a lot of other banks also charged, on top of having a minimum that was pretty high, a lot of banks also charge service fees for having an account and using an account. But American Express did not have those. Yeah, so I thought it was a good fit for our business where we're at. So yeah, over the weekend I submitted an application. The application process was really easy. I had everything that I needed on hand. I just needed my ID and social security number so they can verify my identity. And then I needed my EIN number, which we got from the IRS, and proof of organization from the state of Georgia. There's an official paper that's called the Articles of Organization. Pretty much the confirmation of when you submit and register your LLC name at the state. This is what they send back as a response. And then it'll help too when they give you tax paperwork, right? And then it'll link up to your EIN number. Overall, the application took 15 minutes to fill out. It was really fast and easy. And then it said, we verified your identity, but please allow 2 to 5 business days for us to open your account and check back. And literally the next day, I didn't even have to wait the minimum of 2 business days. The next day, I had an account, and they're now asking me to fund it. Okay, that's number 1 done. Well, almost done. I'll check it off when I have it officially hooked up to my Etsy account. So I've been working for a few hours on the thank you cards that I want to send out in these packages. I've been designing on Canva. I just have the free version, but here's what I have so far, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, don't be too harsh on me because I'm not a graphic designer, and this did take me hours to even get to this point, and I think you're just gonna have to trust me. This is the best draft that I can have come up with. But I like it. I think it looks really nice. I love the big rose in the center. That's the rose from my logo. I like the vibes. I think it's elegant. I think it's pretty. I wasn't sure what to put. Originally, I was going to put my contact information, but it didn't quite fit and it didn't look very nice. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that space. I'm thinking like a nice little note. I know a lot of other businesses write people's names, which I think is so cute, and I love that idea. Anyway, so this is the front. Let me show you the back. So the back right now is really blank, but at the bottom I have my contact information. I think it just fits and it looks nicer there. I have my Etsy shop, YouTube, and email address. I have like Instagram and TikTok. Well, I have it reserved for my company name, but I haven't posted on any of those websites yet, so I don't think I'm gonna add them because I don't really want to drive people to inactive account. But my plans for the rest of this page is in the purple section is where I'm going to add like care instructions. You know, how to take care of your stained glass, how to wash it, how to hang it, things like that. And then this way we've got like a 3-in-1. You know, we've got a thank you side with a thank you note, we've got care instructions, and we've got a little section for a business card with contact information. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. There's still some more work to do, but things are looking good. Hello! Okay, so it's been about a week since the last time you saw me. I just got back. I spent the week at my parents' place. Today is June 2nd, and so last weekend was Memorial Weekend, and we took advantage of the 3 days that I had off that I went up to visit them. So, I'm back at my place, and things have happened in the past week. Not a whole lot, but some things. First, I got my debit card in the mail for our business checking account, which is huge. Big win. Second, on our Etsy shop, I have updated the payment settings to now go from and to this new business checking account. I have funded it with about $500. I might put more in. I probably should put more in. We'll see. And I have transferred my Etsy shop from a personal account to a business account. That whole process is actually really easy. You just go into the finances and tax services tab, and you can edit the type of account that you have. And then all I needed to do is input my EIN number and my, I can't remember what it's called now, it starts with a C, corporate number. They wanted the number that was given to me by the state of Georgia to confirm that I do have a business. So we can officially check our first item off of our big list, which is very exciting. So while I was at my parents' place last week, I was thinking a lot about packaging and how I wanted the unboxing experience to be to my customers. And because my products are glass, I need a lot of protective layers so it doesn't break while shipping. And I also wanted a little bit of nicer packaging to put in the big box so that when you open it up, it's not just like your glass piece isn't just like floating around and all the packaging. I wanted it to be a little bit nicer. I was thinking of a few options. I was thinking of like some different glassine bags or some different gauze bags. I was even thinking like jewelry boxes for a little bit. That could be kind of nice. But I really hated the thought of buying something that was kind of expensive because those little bags and those jewelry boxes are actually more expensive than you think they are, just for them to be kind of a one-use thing that people throw away. I started thinking about some of the other glass products that I have. The first thing that comes to mind is like Christmas ornaments. With some of my nicer Christmas ornaments that like I've had for years, sometimes they'll come in a protective pouch or drawstring bag that's made of like felt. And when that's the case, I will keep that packaging and use it to store my Christmas ornaments and during the off season. And so that got me thinking that like having a nice, maybe a little bit padded of a drawstring bag to put these pieces in, I feel like it would feel like higher quality, and then the piece isn't just like floating around in a box. And you have a storage option if you don't want to have your glass piece out all year round. And then I got to thinking, okay, so I could buy them. Like, why make something new when there's so much fabric already going to the landfill from things like thrift stores and things that are already produced and made. So that's when I came up with a really bad idea. And by really bad, I mean I think it's good and I like it, but it's going to be kind of hard. So it's bad in terms of labor. Let me explain. I bought a sewing machine. I think I am going to make little pouches. I can thrift the fabric. Sheets or big sweatshirts or big t-shirts for really cheap, and I can look for things that people probably won't want to buy and I'll probably go to the landfill because I'm going to cut it up anyways. And then I can make cute, decorative little pouches. And then I really liked the idea of customizing the pouch to the product. For instance, like my first shop launch is going to be these daisies and butterflies. Well, then I can do like a white pouch or maybe a floral pouch. I think that would be cute. So yeah, I kind of fell in love with that idea. Listen, it's my business and I can do what I want. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. All right, so I have made my first pouch. This is not the fabric that I'm going to be using. I dug out my old sewing kit that I had when I was a kid because I used to sew when I was a kid. But when I moved out of my parents' place, I haven't had access to a sewing machine since. So it's been, oh my God, almost 10 years since I've actually sewed something. So bear with me. I'm very rusty and I'm definitely going to have to practice a lot. But hence why I'm using crazy fabric. This absolutely came out of my childhood sewing kit. So but okay, here's what it's looking like. This is the first prototype I've done. It's a little pouch with little drawstring. The craftsmanship could use some work, for sure. There's so many different patterns of drawstring little bags that I think I'm going to take this week because we have to wait. I've ordered some things that I need in order to launch my shop. So we're not going to launch probably for a couple more weeks. So I'm going to take the time and then I might try a couple different patterns of pouches to see which one I like the best, see which one looks nicest, see which one's easiest to do, and go from there. But yeah, this is first draft. Here's the concept though. So we have our little pouch and this is just one of our butterfly magnets that I've made and it just fits right in. And isn't that cute? And then, so when you unbox it, you'll get a little protective pouch, open it up, and it'll perfectly fit your magnet or whatever the order is. It'll be good. It'd be another protective layer for the glass piece, and customers can use it to store if they don't want to have it up 24/7. I think I have found one of my new favorite stores in Atlanta. It was so much fun. So, like I mentioned, I want the fabric of these pouches to be secondhand, and I did a little Google, and there is a secondhand craft store called Scraplanta, and I had never been before. So I took a gander this weekend, and I got a little haul. You want to see my fabric haul? When it comes to fabric selection, I don't know what would be good or not. So I grabbed a bunch of different stuff. So we have options to play around with, and we can see what will be good. I'm just gonna start picking things out. One of the first things that I saw and immediately grabbed, I'm guessing this is like furniture fabric, because it's so nice. There's little diamond quilted black fabric. I thought this would be really classy. I loved how it was thick and it already had some padding. Because in my head, I'm thinking these are gonna be like, I want them to be pretty structured, right? I want them to provide protection and support for glass. The next option I got was this white fabric that has really pretty, almost, it reminds me of lace. It's not lace, but it reminds me of like, there's a really pretty stripe pattern with some lace details that I thought would make a really pretty pouch. I also thought this was really pretty with the current collection because it's white and it's summery and so then I got to thinking, oh, I should put a liner in these, to protect the glass a little bit, and it could class it up, make it look a little bit more high quality. And so I got a bunch of lining fabrics. They had a whole bin of these like silky fabrics that are like this. The patterns were questionable on whether they were cute or not, so I just grabbed this one, and I thought this was pretty. Other lining options where they had this big old bin of, they called it pre-hemmed squares. I mean, they're kind of just like fancy table napkins is what they remind me of. But they're all these like satiny materials that I thought would be good for glass because it's not going to scratch it. And they had all different kinds of colors. So I picked up a bunch. I picked up a green one because I thought it kind of went with my branding colors. I picked up a couple white ones. Classic, basic. Here's the other white one. And then I picked up a couple black ones. So there's one black one. And here's the other black one. Does it look like I'm not wearing pants? I'm wearing pants. I'm gonna do probably most of my prototypes and my practice pouches on that like fabric that I have in my kit. But once I'm happy with the design and I'm more confident in my skills to recreate it, I'll try making pouches out of this fabric, and then we can pick like what textures and what fabrics we want and how to make it look nice. So, and you will not believe, I paid for all of this and they gave me a reusable bag to take it home in. I paid $5. That's it. $5 for everything. That's it. I don't know. I think the store was a great find. I will absolutely be back. We will probably need more fabric because I will probably mess all this up, but that's okay. Wow. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh man. So I just spent like the past 15-20 minutes recording the unboxing of my branding supplies from Vistaprint because I got it in the mail and my camera wasn't recording. But okay, you know what? It's okay. This will still be exciting for you because you haven't seen it yet. So I ordered my care cards, which kind of act as business cards as well. I put my contact information on them, and then some branding stickers from Vistaprint. I was expecting them to arrive next week on the 7th. They gave me an estimated delivery day of June 17th, and today's the 9th, and I just got a notification that they delivered everything. So I ran down to my mailbox and I set you guys up on this tripod and I filmed the unboxing. It's okay. Honestly, it's a rookie mistake. I'm sorry, guys. But let me show you. Let me show you the packaging. So, first of all, here's my sheet of stickers. I think they turned out so well. Believe it or not, this should be 48 stickers, I believe, which is more than enough for the amount of packages that I have. And then I ordered some care cards. So when I placed the order, I picked the lowest quantity, which will be the lowest overall cost that I could get. And I did that for a couple reasons. One, right now I don't have very many products, so even the lowest quantity is going to be more than enough. And then that way it keeps my spending down, so I'm not spending a bunch of money before I start making money. And then two, the downside of picking like the lowest quantity batches is that I definitely paid the highest per item price, but I thought it was an okay sacrifice because this is the first time I'm doing anything like this. This is the first time I've drafted a thank you card, or I was worried about the stickers being off or blurry. Let's just start with a really small batch on this first run. And then that way, like, once I use everything up, I can iterate and order a second batch and change the things that I want. Here is what the care cards look like. So the front says, "Thank you for your order. I hope your new piece brings you a bit of light and joy. Your support means the world to me and my small business, Murphy Rose & Co." And I love it. I think it turned out really nice. Here's the back. On the back, I just have instructions on hanging, instructions on cleaning and taking care of your new stained glass piece. And then I have some information about the lead solder that I use. And then I also have my business information at the bottom, my Etsy shop, my YouTube channel, and then my email address. So overall, my review is I think these turned out really well. This makes me so happy. Genuinely, this makes me so excited. This kind of makes this whole online business it's starting to feel real. Like it's starting to come together and feel like a legit thing that I'm doing. And overall, I'm happy with this. A couple things I want to note. I ordered note cards because the size fit better than, I think they called it like packaging inserts. I'm sure what most people use for care cards. But those were pretty big, so I wanted a smaller size. And this size is perfect. But I elected to get the glossy finish because I thought it would make it look a little bit nicer. And it does, and I'm really happy with it, but only the front is glossy. So the back is still matte. The second thing I want to note for me and my future self is I think when I order these again, I'm going to change the font on the back. I don't know if it's because it's the white text on a black background, makes it a little bit harder to read. Definitely not unusable. Like, I can read this and it's all right. So these came a week and a half early. And I've been thinking about like giving myself a deadline for launch day. And until I got these today, I was thinking, well, if I have to wait till the 17th to get my packaging, I kind of want to have everything here before I launch. Let's launch on the 20th. That's a Friday. That's just a couple days later. And I mean, today's the 9th and I already have everything. So now it's a matter of me getting all of the work done to get the products listed. And now I'm thinking, do I want to wait until the 20th? I think I decided I am. 20th is just a good goal. It gives me a week and a half to get everything done. So you heard it here first. June 20th. Murphy Rose & Co.'s launch date. Mark it on your calendar. Be ready. So I have several prototypes. Let me show you. Sorry, I'm laughing because some of these are really bad and I'm kind of embarrassed to show you, but it's okay. This is the first thing I've made. It's just a very simple little pouch. There's nothing to it. I wouldn't even call this version 1. I'd call this version like 1/2. This was me trying to see if I can sew in a straight line. The answer is no, but I'm practicing. I wanted to show you where we started. And from here, my second attempt looked like this, which is instantly much better. I did change up the design quite a bit, and by that I mean I followed a different tutorial on YouTube. The main thing was I moved the channel down so it's more embedded, and I think it looks nice. I also like that it created this little ruffle up top. I thought that was really sweet. I think for this prototype, the ruffle was a little bit too big, but I like the idea and the concept of it. I used ribbon for the strings. Now these strings are obnoxiously long, but I like the look of it. And the inside looks really bad. Don't look at the inside. We're not even going to look at the inside. That being said, this is what prototype number 3 looks like. Instantly much better. The size is better too. I wasn't paying attention so much with sizes. I was more focused on like, what design do I want? How do I use a sewing machine? What does the construction look like? What are all the steps? All that kind of stuff. This was the first thing ever that I lined. So I lined it with, I have this other fabric that was in my childhood sewing kit. I do remember when I was a kid, anytime the pattern called for me to line something, I just wouldn't. Because I was like, I'm not doing that twice. So this is genuinely the first thing ever that I've lined. The construction, again, could be better. I'm still improving on that front. Some of my steams are really janky looking. I hemmed it, and then I made the channel. So there's 3 stitch lines across, which I realized after making this is ridiculous. I'll show you this in the next prototype, but I figured I can use the top or the hem as the top line for the channel with the strings. That brings me to iteration number 4. And this is what it looks like. I think this looks the nicest. I think the ruffle could be bigger. I think I went a little too small, but that's an easy fix. This is what it looks like on the inside. 2 stitches running across the top. The top one is both the hem and the top of the channel, and then obviously the bottom of the channel for the string. I'm actually really happy with this design, and I think I am done prototyping on this fabric. I think I'm ready to start trying to sew some actual pouches. Of all the fabric that I got, I think this one matches the collection the best, and I have a bunch of it. So I'm hoping I can get all of my pouches, if not most, made out of this. I'm thinking this is going to be the outside. And then I was really hoping that when I went back the second time to get the padding to Scraplana, I was going to find a fabric with like really cute little flowers and are really dainty. I thought that would be a cute lining, but unfortunately when you thrift everything, I didn't say anything. So I think we're going to use this as the lining, and I think it'll be pretty. They also had a bunch of fun types of ribbon to tie it off, and I figured that will be a good place to add some color and some pizzazz. So I have a few options. I have this floral one, which I think is just really cute and really springy and like summery, the essence of the collection. I have this pink one, which is really cute. And I have this silver cording, which I think is also really pretty. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna try to sew an actual pouch. Okay, it's a few days later from the last clip that you saw of me. I finished that night making this. And honestly, I'm so proud of it. It looks so good, and it looks just like how I imagined in my head. The cushioning is nice and thick, and it fits the butterfly magnets and the daisy keychains perfectly. And I think it'll be a nice little bonus in the package if you're a customer and you're opening it. Also, I'm really proud of myself. You can definitely see the improvement in my skills from where I started versus how this looks. Like, are you kidding? Oh, also, this is definitely the second one that I made that night, because the first one that I made was not the right size. It was too small. But I've nailed down the measurements that we need. So now it's a matter of rinse and repeat. We got to make 10 more. And I've gotten started, so that's what I've been doing tonight. I've cut out all the fabric that we need, and I've just finished sewing these little padding pouches. These are the things that, give it the cushion, and it goes in between the liner and the outer fabric. So next, it's a matter of assembly. Today is Monday, which means I have 5 days till my shop launch, which means we have some things to do. But the good news is, since the last time I saw you, I have updates. First thing is, I've done the research on sales tax, and as it turns out, it looks like Etsy is already charging and taking care of sales tax for me, which is super nice and a huge bonus if that's really true and I don't have to do anything. And I verified this in a couple of the orders that I had from that one pattern that I have up, and Etsy did charge sales tax. So I think we can mark that off our list. I don't think I have to do anything. Second thing I have to update is this weekend I went and I got us a P.O. box. So we're good to the end of the year for next 6 months. I just did a USPS P.O. box instead of UPS, which is what I had previously that expired. I don't know the perks of a UPS one. I don't understand what the advantage is. I'm going to go with the cheaper option. So I got a small mailbox for 6 months for $96, which was, I'm not kidding you, that's like a third of the price that I paid for the UPS medium mailbox. So I did get a slightly bigger one that I didn't use. So I'm pretty happy with it. And now that's taken care of. We can check that off. Now we have an address that I can use so I can ship things out and not have to put my home address as the return label. And then, big update is I finished all of our small pouches. All 11 of them are done, but that's only half. So now I need to figure out the new size for the bigger pouches. So for my butterfly and sunflower sun catchers. And I have to make 10 more. And I have to work full time until Friday. But I have until Friday. I think we can get them done. Once I have those bigger pouches made, then I think we have everything we're going to do for packaging for this round. I do want to do some more research on shipping, though, in terms of, what do I need to charge? What can I expect to spend? Just have some sort of idea. I also want to make a game plan for how I'm going to get shipping labels. So the last phase before we can launch then is to get the listings ready, right? So I have started taking product photos. But when I was taking them, oh my god, I am not a photographer. I have never done anything like that, and it felt so foreign to me to dive into product photography like that. So I definitely have a lot to learn, and I can definitely get better over time, but I'm happy I at least tried already, and progress is progress. So we have to have final images by Friday. Anyways, those are my updates as of right now. We've made some good progress. We still have some things to go, but I see it. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just stay there. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Oh, happy Thursday. It is officially the day before launch, which is so exciting. It's a little bit later in the day right now. It is, I don't know, probably close to 5 p.m. And let me tell you what I've been up to. So, the main thing today is I wanted to figure out shipping, and I've been doing some research. I've been Googling, I've been asking ChatGPT. First, I think we're only going to ship to the US to start out with. In order to ship internationally, I need something called a tariff number. And I think I know what that is for my stained glass goods, but I want more time to research it to make sure that I have the correct number, one. And then two, there was something called, I think it was called the GSPR guidelines, which is all this information about who the manufacturer is, which is me, but also, like health and safety regulations. And I just want to make sure I give myself some time to actually fully research what the GSPR requirements are before I start offering international shipping. Etsy actually offers pretty much everything through their platform, which is super nice. Like, I can buy shipping labels through them, and I can estimate the cost of shipping because it's different for whoever orders, right? So if someone from LA, which is completely across the country from me, orders something, it's going to cost more to ship it to them than the people in Atlanta, where I'm at. So I didn't really want to do a flat rate because I know nothing about shipping prices, and that could get pretty expensive pretty quickly, and I don't want to be out money. I know on Etsy a lot of people recommend upping your product prices, and then so you can advertise free shipping, and then you as the seller pay for shipping ad hoc. I'm going to not do that. I feel really conflicted because on one hand, I as the consumer like to have free shipping. It's like a little extra perk. But I also feel really shady about if something is more expensive than I think it should be just to have free shipping. That it feels dishonest. And it's the last thing I want to be, right? So the way that I think I'm going to set it up is Etsy will calculate shipping prices based off of the person who's buying it, and they'll let them know at checkout how much shipping is going to be. And I think that's just the way we're going to do it. If in the future I want to change it, we can. If this isn't working, or if, we learn more information or find a better system, we can always change it. But I think we're going to just set everything to the default. In order to calculate shipping costs, we need to know the weight of what we're shipping. So I did not have a scale. So today I ran out to Staples and I bought this bad boy. I think I overpaid for it for sure. Honestly, when I went into Staples, it was pretty picked over. They had like 2 options, and this was one of them. I ended up paying like $50 for it, which seems pricey. But if it works, it works. That's what I'm telling myself. And it's only a one-time thing. I only have to buy this thing once, and hopefully it lasts for a really long time. Now that I have this, though, I think I have everything I need to ship orders out. Oh, also, I want to mention one thing I'm not buying is I'm not buying a label printer because they're like $150, and I don't need it at this point. Or you can print off labels on sticker paper just from a normal printer, but you can also just use normal paper. Like, you can just print out the label, cut it out, and then use clear packing tape to tape it onto the box. And so I think I'm just going to do that. As my business scales, as we sell more things, it might be worth it for me to invest. I just don't think we're at that point yet. And that being said, I think we have everything. Okay, I accidentally lied. I wanted to also buy some Handle with Care, Fragile, glass stickers to put on the outside of the shipping boxes. And so I just ordered them on Amazon and they'll arrive tomorrow. But now we have everything we need to ship. Good morning. I can't believe it's launch day today. This is so exciting. It is finally Friday, June 20th. Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a good Juneteenth. I got a lot done yesterday and we are ready. And I'm so, don't mind my outfit. I was gonna get all dressed up for you guys today and myself to celebrate, but for some reason I woke up this morning and I feel like I might be coming down with a cold. So whoever went to the gym sick, you suck. But anyways, we will still celebrate and we will still have a good time. Yesterday, I said I was gonna finish up the pouches, but instead I took the rest of the night pretty much to finish up our listings. Note to self, that took way longer than I thought it was going to, which is a common theme throughout this whole process, but that's okay. Even if I completely sell out today, which is not going to happen, I would be able to sew up all my pouches in the processing time that I allocated on my shop. So, not a big deal. I do have to work this morning, just for about a half day though. So I'm thinking we're gonna go live at noon. That'll give me a couple hours to really marinate and think if there's anything I want to change last minute. Before I actually launch today, I want to show you what my listings look like and kind of go over some things that I've learned and some settings that I chose. So let me take you into our Etsy shop manager. What you're looking at now is the dashboard, and right now it looks really boring for us because we don't really have any listings, we're not selling anything, so we don't have any views or visits or orders. So if we go just down to the listings tab, I have everything under drafts. And here's what they look like. I know I was worried about the photos that I took in my apartment with the mirror and the flower setup, but to be honest with you, I think they turned out pretty good. I like how they're kind of cohesive. I have all 4 listings done. Since we're here, let's go over pricing. So I did some research on other stained glass shops and I tried to find comparable items to the things that I make. So I think my prices actually are fairly competitive. We'll start with these prices, and if they don't sell, we can run a sale or we can lower them. So I'm charging for the butterfly sun catcher, I'm going to charge $85. For the daisy sun catcher, it was a lot less pieces, a lot more simple, even if it's the same size, so I am charging around $45 for that one. And then for our smaller items, the daisy keychain, I'm charging $25. And then for the most simple item, the smallest item, I am charging $20 for the magnets. So let's take a look at one of our listings. I'm just gonna let's take a look at our butterfly magnets. So here's what it looks like. Here's the naming convention that I've gone with. We'll see how it ranks in SEO. I did ask ChatGPT to help me because I know nothing about SEO. So I don't know what's going to rank the highest. And they told me that I had enough keywords in here that hopefully I can get some views. We're using the keyword handmade, stained glass, iridescent pink, butterfly. I could also put like home decor or like gift for her. That was also keywords that they wanted me to use, but I think I like this better. It just is more simple. So we'll start with this. Let's actually go into the preview so you can see what it would look like for a customer. So the first one is our flower pictures on a mirror. Yeah, Etsy actually recommends that you do include a video. They say it increases sales. So for this magnet one, I just made a video demonstrating how a magnet works. You can put it on your fridge, and then I put all 6 of my butterflies on my fridge, and I think it looks cute. And then I did do a few outside pictures just to get some pictures with the glass in the natural sunlight. And I think they turned out really well. I just took these on my iPhone, honestly, off my balcony. I do also wish that I did my nails. So note to self, get your nails done if you're going to do this again. The next thing that you need to fill out on a listing is the description. Now, it does say like buyers will only see the first few lines of the description unless they look closer. So that kind of tells you that really the first few lines are the most important. So then I just wrote like a little nice 1-sentence note. It says, elevate your everyday with a piece of functional art with these handmade stained glass iridescent pink and white butterfly magnets. I did try to include SEO words in the description just in case that matters. I don't know if that matters or not, actually. And then I always really like it when Etsy sellers do this, is adding a little details tab to give you more information about the product. So under details, I have, what type of glass we're using, what color glass we're using. I have the size in here, which I think is going to be key. That's why I included pictures with my hand in it to show customers like an idea of scale. The magnets are about 2 inches by 2 inches. And then I said there's a strong backing magnet attached, and it's soldered with 60/40 lead solder. I tried to put it in as many places as it can that this is made from lead solder. I don't want that to be a surprise to people. The solder that I use is the most basic. Pretty much every stained glass artist uses this type of solder, but it is made out of lead, and I want people to know that. Now, it's not toxic really unless you somehow breathe it in, which you can only really do if you like melt it, which I don't think people would be melting it, or eat it. So don't put this thing in your mouth, really, is what I'm saying. And then at the bottom, I put, this is a great gift for friends or family if you want to give it to someone, as well as each of my products come with a handmade protective pouch made from thrifted materials. There is a button that you can add personalization. We're not doing that. And then there's a price and inventory category where you fill in, what do you want to charge, and then how many do you have? So we're charging $20 for this, and I have 6 items. There's no variations yet. I'm open to it. Honestly, if something sells well, I will probably do this then. But this is where under the same listing have multiple different versions of your product. So like if I had a blue version of this magnet butterfly, I could add it here, and then customers could select between the pink and the blue, and that way you only need one listing for the same product, which is actually kind of nice that we can do that. And then there's the core details. This is literally the first thing when you make a new listing that Etsy will ask you. Like, what is it? What are you selling? The options that I selected are, this is a physical item, and I personally made it. It is already a finished product, so this is not made to order, and I made it between 2020 and 2025. And it is made from scratch using handheld or hand-guided tools. And then you can pick a category. So for these ones, I'm putting it in the refrigerator magnets. Then you have attributes, and this kind of changes depending upon what category you put it in. But for the most part, most of them look the same. You have a primary and secondary color, so I put pink and white. And then you have a sustainability section, so if you use like recycled materials or something, you could put that in here. If this is, specific to a holiday or a special occasion, you can select which one. I'm not selecting anything. And then we have tags. And again, this is for SEO. This is for Etsy to know who to show you're listening to. So if people search any of these words, hopefully my listing will show up. We'll see. Again, not an expert, might change all of this, or might do some more research around this, but I did ask ChatGPT for help. So we'll see. So about half of the tags I came up with, and about half the tags ChatGPT came up with. Then there's a material section. So this is where I put, what is this thing made out of? So obviously like stained glass, I put the copper foil down, and then again, I did the 60/40 solder and magnets. So with shipping, the GPSR manufacturing information, this is like if we're going to sell to the EU, we need to fill out this form with a bunch of information. I have not, because we're going to do that like in phase 2. I need to do more research on that. But so right now, this is not filled out on my shop. For shipping options, you can pick your processing time, which is how much time you need as a buyer after someone places an order to get something like shipped and out the door. I'm giving myself up to 5 days just in case. I don't know. I don't know what could go wrong. The nice thing, all my inventory is made, so it's just should be just a matter of buying labels and getting to the post office. But I wanted to give myself plenty of time to that if I needed the 5 days for some reason, I could take it. This is also in here where you select which countries you want to sell to. Right now I have only US. Oh, and then you put your zip code. And this is going to help then calculate shipping costs. So like I said, I'm using the Etsy estimated shipping to let customers know how much they need to pay. Still under shipping, we have item weight and item when packed. So the item weight, I weighed out all of the things and I weighed it out with the stained glass item inside the pouch, actually. So it's the pouch and the stained glass item. And then that is the weight I'm using, as well as the next item is the item size when packed. And you can see this is actually kind of big. So 6 inches by 5 inches by 1 inch. And that is because I'm shipping glass. I use big boxes so I can get enough padding, enough protective material around it because it's glass, it's fragile and it's breakable. And so actually I looked around and it is recommended that with more fragile items, if you know you're going to be using bigger boxes, to actually put a bigger size in the item size so that it gives a more accurate shipping cost. And what's actually nice is they will give you a preview of shipping costs where like if someone from New York City were to buy my item with all of this information, right now it's sitting at the customers would pay a little over $4.15. And I was worried, like I didn't want to inflate it so much that people were paying a lot. So I played around with the item size, and to be honest with you, even if I went down to the actual pouch size, which is like 3 inches by 4 inches, it's literally the same shipping cost. I'm trying to be accurate. That's the whole goal. I really am trying to be accurate. So next, in the final section, are general settings, and the first thing that you can choose is returns and exchanges. So I am not going to accept exchanges. I don't think it's something I can support right now. But I will accept returns. But I limited the returns to within the first 2 weeks. And that's pretty standard. A lot of other Etsy shops do this. Like I said, I looked around and I tried to get the vibes of the marketplace. And this seems like a pretty standard return policy. And then you can have different shop categories. So I have a magnet category, a sun catcher category, and a keychain category. So this one's under magnets. And then under renewal options. So you actually have to pay 20 cents to have a listing on Etsy. And that listing only lasts for 4 months or until everything sells out. You can either sign up to have it renew automatically, but right now I have it manual. But yeah, that's what we're working with. Pretty much all the listings look pretty much the same, but I think it's a good start. Can you tell that I'm really excited? I need to stop yapping. I'm gonna go to work for a few hours and I will catch you when we go live. And once we go live, that'll finally be the end of this video. This is going to be a beast to edit, and it's going to be a very long video. But I think there's a lot of good information in it. So, cheers. I'll see you in a few hours. Cheers. Okay, it is time. It is time to go live. It is time. We're gonna do it together because I'm actually so nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Publish. Okay, we've got 2 of 4 listed. publish. And last one. Okay, we're live. Everything's listed. I just got a notification. Wait. Oh, okay. It was just Etsy notifying me. Okay. Coast is clear. I thought crazy. Okay, but we are. We are live. Cheers. We did it. This is a big deal. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal if you watch other small business creator content. I have nobody waiting to buy my products. I'm not expecting any sales. This is a huge accomplishment for me, and I am so proud of myself for getting here. Cheers. I'm so excited. So it's now like 2:30, but we did it. I'm so excited. I hope I get one order. I'm so excited to package it up and send it to somebody. I don't know what else to talk about other than like, I'm so happy that I'm here and I'm so happy that we made it this far. We are live. I officially have things that I am selling.